Today is all about getting this bedroom back in order, refreshed with a clean start. Our girls' shared bedroom is looking a little rough. I know that to some of you watching, you might think it looks okay, and honestly, it isn't terrible. They do a good job on the day-to-day of putting things back in order, tidying up, getting their clothes into the laundry hamper, things like that. But when it comes down to the really deep cleaning aspect of things, I like to lend them a hand. It's sort of a windy, yucky day, and I have a little bit of free time since we are off school for fall break, which means it's the perfect time to do this inside project and work on this together. The first thing that I always do when I'm refreshing a bedroom space is wash all of the bedding. It's something super easy to do, and while it is running through the cycles of the washing machine and then the dryer, I can be doing other things. The girls' bedding is pretty simple, pretty low-key, but they have these body-like pillows that they like to sleep with, and those are kind of a pain to clean. I have to take all the stuffing out of them and wash the outside cover. I'm thinking of investing in some slip covers that I can put over top of this, kind of like a pillowcase, so that I don't have to do this every time, and so I don't wash these pillows probably as often as I should, but today I'm definitely giving them a clean. Probably the most obvious issue is that random things are piling up in various spots, not getting back into their designated places where they belong. And when that starts to happen, it's a pretty clear indication to me that some decluttering needs to take place. Pro tip here from a mom of 5, if you want your kids to go through their things, it's a good idea to give them only a bit at a time so that they aren't overwhelmed. Let them focus on one category and fully look through it before moving on to the next. And by having them do the sorting in another space altogether, like my girls are doing here in the garage, it gives them another layer of focus and intention. They're not going to be distracted by wanting to play with their toys in their space when they are not in the room itself. So while they're busy with that, I'm going to move a few things around upstairs. This bedroom is really nice in that it has a wide open layout, which allows for multiple furniture arrangements. And moving furniture is one of my all-time favorite ways to ensure that a space gets a complete refresh. I find that it's one of those no stone unturned kind of approaches to a space. All of those little crumbs, the dust bunnies, any tiny toys, nothing can hide when you move furniture. Most of the furniture pieces in our house are either small enough to pick up and move individually or are on some sort of sliders. So these beds are a great example of that. They are antique, made of steel and cast iron. My husband refinished them. They are extremely heavy, and it would definitely be a two-person job to move them if it wasn't for the sliders that we added to the legs. So I'm able to just easily move them around the room, kind of position them in certain spots so that I can sweep other parts of the floor and then keep sliding them into place where I want them to go next. I'll be honest, these walls could probably use a fresh coat of paint at this point. That might be a spring project, but for now I will stick with my homemade all-purpose spray. The combination of vinegar, rubbing alcohol, lemon juice, water, and dish soap, it both smells and works great, and I use it on all types of surfaces without any issues. Since our girls are homeschooled, I do give them the responsibility of making their own beds in the morning, and in an effort to make that a very easy process, we talked about how we could do some simplifying in that. And so the girls and I agreed to eliminate one of the pillows that they each had on their beds, and also to do away with folding the comforter down to reveal the sheets. And That does give a nicer detail to the bed. I like the way that it looks when that comforter is folded down, but just pulling it up all the way will be much easier for the girls to handle, and therefore they're going to be able to maintain it better. The girls did a great job going through their belongings in this organizer system, and now we need to take some time to really pare down, sort through all of their stuffed animals. As you can tell, they are in a stuffed animal phase right now, and they really enjoy their collection, and so we need to really think about which ones are most important and which ones that maybe we could pass on to someone else. Another upgrade that might eventually look nice in the girls' bedroom is a brightly colored rug, maybe with a fun pattern. This one has served them well, but being that it's a light color and the girls really love making crafts, it's starting to look a bit shabby. I also personally prefer kind of a lower profile rug, not so much the shag style. This one was a hand-me-down and has worked really good for a placeholder, but it wouldn't have been my first choice for the room. So someday we will make that switch. Speaking of crafts, this table gets a ton of use. If you'll remember, this is another piece that my husband refinished. He added a couple of drawers, and they have been filled with beads, gel pens, coloring books, completed sketches ever since. It's always a good idea to weed through some of these treasures and make a determination about which art and craft projects they want to keep and which ones we can let go of. It would honestly be impossible to keep them all. They just love doing artwork and love doing craft projects, so this is something that we do regularly. The top of this dresser was absolutely covered with random things. Some items that just, like I said at the beginning, needed to be put back in the correct spots where they belong, and others that have some sentimental value. So those special memories, those special mementos, they're able to be admired much more easily when they aren't surrounded by all the excess. And so just giving this dresser a clean wipe down and putting back only those special things really made a big impact. We're down to a few finishing touches now, including these tins full of colored pencils and markers, and the Yoto player, which they use often to listen to both music and audiobooks. And now that it's dark outside, it's early evening, you're going to get the nighttime view of this finished and refreshed space. You might think that the room looks a little plain without much color when it's all cleaned up, but trust me when I say that it is a full explosion of color and activity when the girls are playing with their stuffed animals and other toys. They create a whole new adventure each and every day. This open layout will serve them well during the colder months when they spend even more time indoors playing. This is a great reflection of their current ages. Not quite a little girl room anymore, but also not all grown up. And I love that it will continue to grow and change with them. And here's the big win of this whole project. Both girls agreed and decided together on what to declutter. There wasn't any coaxing or bribing them to make these decisions. They decided on their own. It's my belief that kids really do want a clean room that's easy to maintain, but that it takes routine and a bit of help for them to realize how to achieve it. And I'm so proud of them for being able to recognize the things that they don't play with anymore, they don't get use out of anymore, and being willing to let those things go. So I would call that a very successful day. I'm very happy with how it all turned out. If you are looking to do a refresh of your own bedroom space, maybe to help your own kids, I hope that this video can serve as encouragement to you. Thank you so much for tagging along today and watching, and as always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you back here again really soon.